Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing a long-awaited sale haul. I have done many trades lately and had a lot of kind of just random pickups that I had. And then the Criterion sale began earlier this month on, I guess, November 2nd, November 3rd roughly. And then I did the Indicator sale, which I got in today. All of these are ones that I haven't seen yet, and some of them are ones that have been heavily recommended to me based off of my tastes. But first, let's talk about one thing real quick. Is that I am starting the marathon. That is what everybody voted on to finish off the No Shave November charity that I'm kind of running and fundraising for. And that's kind of why I have the full facial hair. I usually don't like to grow facial hair really at all because I can't grow it well. As you can see on this side of my face, it is not really balanced well. I can't grow sideburns. But so I'm going to begin that around 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock, and then I will do a kind of video, kind of kickstarting it, and then I'll keep going until I raise the final $500 that I have. I don't know how long it will take, but I will go as long as I can. I don't know if I can do until the end of the month, but I'm hoping that I can get some final kind of contributions to the charity. That way I can reach the goal that I set for myself. I would be very happy and very grateful and appreciative if I hit the $500 goal. Currently I'm at $60, which is a good amount. That's even higher than I expected. So right now I am viewing it as a success, and it can only get better from here on out, in my opinion, because we already have the $60. We can go up to $100. So every time I do a video, I think I will do kind of a check mark, kind of a check-in, I guess, on how many dollars have been raised for the National LGBT Cancer Network. It's a pretty great cause to raise money for. They are not doing kind of the best. It has raised, the last I checked, about $3,000, which is a good amount, but I think it deserves a lot more because the other choices have had, the other charities that you can choose from, some of them have gone as high as $20,000-$30,000 raised. So I want to help this cause get up to those levels as much as I can. And as a queer person, it's a very important cause for me, especially because I've had family members who have died from cancer, and as somebody who witnessed what went on there, it was very hard to kind of watch. And especially for the charity that I chose, a lot of queer people do not have the resources that they are able, or not that they're able to use, but they just don't have the access to the same resources as a lot of other people because of family kicking them out, or just not as many acceptance of queer people in general. And that's sort of why I wanted to choose that, was to kind of raise awareness and to help a cause that I personally believe in and support. So without further ado, I'm going to first show something that I think I have shown. I definitely have shown it during a Spooktober video, but I don't think I've shown it on a haul video. So if you missed that particular specific video, you may have no idea that I have this box set. But somebody who I knew in the boutique Bluray community on Discord, they had a copy of this box set from Severin. Severin is actually having a huge halfway sale, or not halfway sale, but Black Friday sale. And I bought a lot of movies from it, just to go on another tangent. But that started last night at midnight, and I stayed up quite a bit to get in my Dario Argento bundle, which I'm very excited for. Two movies I have been really wanting to watch by him that I've never seen before. And they got all new 4K remasters, brand new special features, new commentary tracks, new interviews, everything. And one of them is actually Dario Argento's least watched movie, which is he made in the late 70s. I don't think early 80s, but this was around the time when he did Deep Red. I want to say it was right before or right after Deep Red. Maybe after Deep Red, because Deep Red is, of course, a perfect Giallo film, in my opinion. I've talked about it before during my Dario Argento rankings, but Deep Red is like one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion. But what makes the Unseen movie so significant is that he made that after Deep Red, if I have it right in my head. And after he made it, nobody watched it because everybody loves Deep Red for good reason. But that movie completely flopped, and nobody really watched it again afterwards, all the way to now, 40 years later, roughly. And it's finally garnered so much attention in the last few years, especially as we finally have gotten physical releases that give Dario Argento sort of the most complete vision of what he wanted, or at least the most able to show what his vision was. And especially with the 4K of Suspiria, Deep Red, what's it called? Bird with a Crystal Plumage, Phenomena. I haven't picked up that 4K yet. I'm still pretty happy with my Blu-ray that I have, but I may need to upgrade it to the standard eventually. Although I do really want that booklet. But either way, I'm really excited for that bundle from Severin. Severin has kind of shot up my list lately ever since we've sort of had our... we've kind of settled our beef that we've had. I've definitely have had sour feelings about Severin for a couple years now, especially with the website and how glitched it is and how it'll re-add items back to your cart as if you're not already spending a lot of money on them. But they've been really supportive lately and answering every question I've had and addressing any concerns I have. Not that I'm emailing them constantly, but I had a few concerns with a few during the DVD sale, and they were very quick. They followed up on my almost half a year email that I had sent about the double copies of Saint Bernard, and that was nice. But I've been getting back into Severin, and the box sets especially, I really want to collect at least the ones that I really, really want. I still have one box set that I need to get, but this one here is one that I've been really wanting to watch, and I watched one of the films from it during the Spooktober kind of month. So the first movie that I'm showing almost 10 minutes into the video is All the Haunts, a compendium of folk horror. I am a pretty big fan of folk horror films. I love Wicker Man. I love Midsummer. Dark Waters, which is in this release, I have the DVD of. And I also really love V, which is a Soviet-era horror film. Probably, I think it is the first Soviet-produced horror film in the country. So that movie is absolutely insane, and I love it. And all these rest of these movies I really want to watch, but especially the 4.5-hour documentary called Woodlands, which I'm very excited to dive into. So that is All the Haunts Be Ours, a folk horror compendium. So next I'm going to show kind of the trades that I've done lately. I've done quite a few. The first one I did with Will when we hung out recently, which was a lot of fun. It was far too long of a wait But I actually got a Blu-ray of his, a Criterion Blu-ray that he was upgrading to 4K this sale. So I was very lucky to be able to score a Blu-ray of this. Because I don't really want the 4K of it. I think if I really get into the films of this director, maybe I will upgrade. But I've seen this movie already, by the way, and I love it. It stars John Travolta and Nancy Allen, directed by Brian De Palma. Blowout. This movie is absolutely just riveting, tense, scary. I love this movie a lot. It's not the most recent transfer, it's sort of the biggest issue that I have. I don't think they have any new special features with this release, but I'm reading here on the back. It says it's a new digital transfer, which is not a good transfer thing to do, technique. Usually you want to do a full frame-by-frame restoration, cleaning up any damage, doing any color correcting that the director or the cinematographer wants to do, which that causes a lot of issues, especially with directors who are kind of revising the films after the fact, like Wong Kar-wai, who pretty infamously, I don't have a huge issue with it, except for one transfer, but he heavily color corrected two of the films, Fallen Angels, Chungking Express, even changed the timing of that movie from kind of the frames, I believe. It was 30 frames a second, and then he bumped it down to 24, is my understanding. But this release, I think the transfer will be questionable. So that might be why I eventually get the 4K. But I'm not 4K ready yet, so one day I will have to kind of go back and replace. So that is Blowout. Lovely movie. Really enjoy it. This next one is one that he accidentally got 2 copies of, the next 2 films. And this is one that I really enjoyed. I watched it with my dad a couple years ago, maybe for Spooktober, maybe last year's Spooktober, I can't remember. But this is a Stephen King based movie. And I'm not sure who the director is. Daniel Attias. I don't know who he is, but the cast in this movie is absolutely awesome. There's a lot of Twin Peaks crossovers going on. We have one of them on the back, but this is the film Silver Bullet. This is one that a lot of people don't have many feelings on. I don't want to lump myself in, but I don't have strong feelings about this. This is just a really cozy movie to watch. It is very competent, great visuals, great music, great cast, everything. But it won't wow you. This movie's just really good. So I'm really happy to finally have this. I kept passing on it on the sales for Shout Factory because I just had better movies and unwatched movies that I was more curious on. And this one I was like, one day I'll get. And I'm really happy we'll happen to have an extra copy. So, Silver Bullet. Really excited for that one. And then this next one is a Vestron film. I do not have the slipcover for this, but that doesn't really matter in terms of physical media for this company, Vestron. This is a movie that I absolutely love. I love the original one a lot, but number 3, which I'm holding here, I hold very dear to my heart. And I haven't seen number 2 yet. But Return of the Living Dead, Part 3. Directed by Brian Usna. Okay, that's what I thought. Brian Usna is a crazy man. I love his movies. I love his... I'm seeing if they have the same special effects guy. I don't think they do. Screaming Mad George, though, in Society is amazing. And he's also did the makeup effects for Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, I believe. One of the sequels. And I really want to check that out. But I really sort of appreciate kind of the rediscovery of this movie and how it's a really not great look, but there's the angle of this movie that not a lot of people have picked up on, which is the commentary on self-harm, which is a very triggering subject. But this is a movie that really sort of shows the control of the female body, especially with our main woman zombie here. She the entire movie is being controlled by her boyfriend, who is constantly telling her and reminding her that she is under his ownership, and that she can't do really anything without him. And so when she gets infected, she is still being controlled by the boyfriend. And there's an aspect of this movie where pain gives our characters sort of a strength or something if they are hurt. And so this woman keeps kind of mutilating herself and slowly becoming like a, I don't know, Freddy Krueger looking villain. And it's really interesting. I highly recommend people to kind of go in looking for the aspects of control and self-harm that are prevalent in this movie, because it gives this movie a much deeper depth than I would have assumed. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, goy, like, this is great. And then I saw this movie again in cult films class that Will teaches, and he brought up these sort of aspects of this movie that a lot of people would have missed. And when he brought it up, it really recontextualized the movie and made it a whole lot more depressing, which I love the original one, but that also has a very depressing ending. And this movie does not hold anything back in terms of that. So I'm excited to rewatch this movie. And with the audio commentary track. So I did not realize there was a commentary track. So Return of the Living Dead 3. Next is the Criterion sale. I got two kind of rewatches, movies I love, and then one blind buy. So I only got 3 releases. One of them is a trilogy, which I think a lot of people already know because it just came out. But the first one I got was a 4K Blu-ray combo of one of my favorite movies directed by Martin Scorsese, Raging Bull. I just rewatched this again within the last year. I think me and my dad would, before I graduated, we were just going through a lot of movies on the Plex and also the school library that I had access to. And this was one of the movies I think was on Plex. And this is just one of my favorite Scorsese films ever. I love the performances in this movie. I love the script. I love how sort of paced it is, because this movie is definitely like a book where it has chapters through each kind of section of the movie. Because this is an almost just over 2 hours, and it does not feel like that at all. Maybe one day I should do a video on this, but I'm really excited to see the new restoration, because I've been seeing this movie over and over on shitty DVD remasters. So I'm really excited to rewatch this. Raging Bull. Now, this next movie is one that I have been trying to buy, or to rebuy it, because I had the DVD for a very long time, and I never ended up upgrading it. I think I got the DVD from Will, I think, when I was a student. So I had no money for the Blu-ray, so I got the DVD instead in a trade, I think. And this is one of my favorite Kurosawa films ever. It is an absolutely beautiful film. It is very emotional. At least it gets me emotional every single time I watch it. And even just talking with people about the movie, and especially about the ending, just always brings tears to my eyes. I love this movie so, so much. This is one of his many non-samurai movies, actually, from 1952. This is Akira Kurosawa's Ikiru, which means life, I believe. I want to say it means life, but they don't have the translation. But this movie, the main guy is Takashi Shimura, and he is probably one of the best actors in my opinion. He's been in many Kurosawa films. He's also been in a few Godzilla films, which is in the Godzilla Criterion set, which I still maintain to this day is probably the worst package ever in terms of design. It's absolutely awful. Ask me more if you're interested, but I'm not going to settle too long. But Takashi Shimura is one of the most wide-ranging actors ever. He's just like Toshiro Mifune, where from movie to movie you can see just so much range. He can be a villain, he can be a hero, he can be a scandal, or a scandalous person, he can be a thief, all sorts of characters. And Takashi Shimura is a kind of government worker in this movie, and throughout, you know what, I'm not going to talk about it because I have plans for this actually. So this is Ikiru by Akira Kurosawa, 1952. Kind of in the golden age of Kurosawa films. And this next one I got because I've been really deep into the Hong Kong action genre or subgenre. And this is one that has been highly anticipated all year long. Maybe since last year, when Criterion and I think Eureka, some other company, talked about how they're gonna release this trilogy. And this has Andrew Lau Wai King, Wai Kung, I believe is how you say that, and Alan Mack. I want to say that it has. I'm trying to find his name. There's a really great actor in this movie who I thought I had the name of in my head. Fuck. Anthony Wong. Okay, yeah. Anthony Wong is one of the main characters in this trilogy, who, if you don't remember him, he's in Ebola Syndrome, which is a very sleazy and kind of great Hong Kong Cat 3 film, which is basically the most heavily censored genre in that country. But this is the Infernal Affairs trilogy. I know nothing about this trilogy. I know the directors, I know the actors in these films. I just haven't seen it. So I'm really excited to watch these. They're all early 2000s, which is really great because that means that's going to look really good, especially with the new restoration. New commentary tracks, new interviews, archival interviews, making ofs, behind the scenes footage, outtakes, deleted scenes, and an essay by film critic Justin Chang. I am very excited to go through these films. I may not do a marathon of it for No Shave November, but I am really excited to finally peep these films. These are probably the most influential Hong Kong action films of all time. So I'm really excited to, at least of new Hong Kong action, because we, of course, have everything before it, which is also great. So I'm really excited to check the Infernal Affairs trilogy out. And that is the last of the Criterion haul. And I want to show kind of one last, well, I guess two last trades that I did. One that I haven't seen yet, but I am very excited for because everybody loves it in the Boutique Bluray Discord. And I've been on a Michael Mann train lately, watching his films. And this movie especially has two of the greatest actors, in my opinion, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, in a Michael Mann film. You probably already know what this movie is. I'm talking about Heat. I've seen many clips of it. I know there's a very famous gunfight in this movie that everybody says is one of the best shootouts in movies ever. And so I'm very excited to finally sit down and watch this. So that is Heat by Michael Mann. I'll put that up there. And then this last trade that I did, which I've already talked about for Spooktober, so I won't kind of dally on that for too long, but I finally got Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. I have the Blu-ray from Grindhouse Video, I believe, or Grindhouse Releasing. I don't have many Grindhouse films. I'm kind of looking on my shelf. Oh. No, I don't, because it's E and then F, goes into... Yeah, I don't have any releases by Grindhouse Releasing right now. I've had a few throughout the years, but I always trade them because of the movies I don't really care about. But this is one that I loved. I absolutely love this. Go watch my Spooktober video if you want to know more. Absolutely amazing. And this next one I got on Amazon for like $5 on Blu-ray, so I was like, fuck it, why not? And I ended up loving it. This would be a very, very great double feature with Censor, and I did a Spooktober video on it, so I will not talk about it long. This is Saint Maud with Morfydd Clark, who plays Galadriel in the new Lord of the Rings show. This movie is insanity. Go watch my video if you want to know more. I loved it. This next movie I got because I saw it at the McKay's used bookstore, which I go to a lot near me. And this is one that I've seen before, but it's been a couple years. And it stars everybody. This is a John Woo film with Tony Leung, and Takeshi Kaneshiro, who I've talked about in a recent film called Hero, which was released by 88 Films, which I think is somewhere up here. I think it's that one, right above where my finger is. That movie was absolutely amazing. I reviewed it during Spooktober, but not for Spooktober. But this is a John Woo film with all of them, and it's absolutely amazing, but nobody thinks it. It's 2.5 hours of epic battles. Red Cliff. This is the only Blu-ray that is out. There is no good Blu-ray of it. This one comes with a making of and an interview with John Woo. So, for now, this will do. So that I got it for $5, so you can see the price up here or whatever. And I'm really excited to rewatch this. I don't have many memories of it, but I remember really enjoying it. It was a really great time. So that is Red Cliff by John Woo. So finally, we're going to go through the indicator haul. I'm really excited for this one because there's a lot of titles that have been recommended to me over the years. Some of them are films by directors who I've been meaning to catch up on, one of which I'm almost done collecting all of his works, and I'm very excited to share which one that is. I have 2 new box sets of Hammer films, which I'm very excited to get into. So let's just go into it. This first one I got because this was recommended to me by a friend of mine in the community, and one of his other films is in one of the horror packs. So I heard this was one that I would like a lot. I know nothing else. This is Alan Clark's Billy the Kid and the Green Baize Vampire. I think I said that right. Same director as Scum, which everybody loves. And I do want to say that he does have a movie in one of the Hammer sets, because I've seen his name before, but I'm really excited for this, and I really hope that this is a movie that I'll love. It's exactly an hour and a half, an hour and 33 minutes, so take off the credits, it's about exact. So we'll see. I'm not going to read anything about it, but I think it sounds fun. So this is going to be a pretty fun experience, discovery. If it ends up being my jam, I think it will be. So, Billy the Kid and the Green Baize Vampire. I hope I said that right. So, I'll do the standard Blu-rays first. This one is one that I started to watch on really shitty scratched up DVD from the library, and it was so scratched up that they that this disc kept skipping every single time that a scene would happen. So 5 minutes would happen, it would change scenes, and then skip to the next scene. Play for about half of the scene, and then skip to the next one. And it was really awful. I'm really mad that I did not just give up on it. I tried to watch the whole thing, and I never went back to rewatch it, whether on streaming or until now on Blu-ray. But I did get the Blu-ray from Indicator. This is a John Carpenter film, Stephen King's story. Christine. I love this soundtrack. I have not George Romero's. I have John Carpenter's soundtracks on my phone, but I haven't actually watched this all the way to the end. So I'm very excited to finally watch this. This is one of the last big films by John Carpenter that I haven't seen yet. So that is Christine. Cannot wait to finally watch it. This next one I got because it has Christopher Lee in it, who I love. And this is directed by, I'm trying to find it, Seth Holt. Don't know who that is. But there's a lot of special features here on the back. This film is called Taste of Fear, starring Christopher Lee. I love that cover, by the way. It's very mood setting, I guess. It does say X here on the bottom. I don't know if that means it's rating, but I hope it does. It is from 1961, 82 minutes long. I don't really know much else about the movie. So I'm really excited for this, and I want to, before I go too far into it, I want to thank Josh for arranging the group buy for all the Indicator films, and for everybody involved in the group buy, picking those up for all of us, and then shipping it to America, and then reshipping it to each of us. A lot of these releases I really wanted for so long. I couldn't have gotten them without you. So thank you so much again, Josh. Great job. Thank you. I'm really awkward at those. But this next one I got because Josh, as I just mentioned, he is a huge Dennis Hopper fan and has been not pushing me, because that sounds rude, but he's been encouraging me to go into his work and learn about the behind the scenes, because Dennis Hopper is an actor who I love. Every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, wow, that Dennis Hopper, he is such a great actor. But I know nothing about him. And Josh heavily recommended this specific release to learn more about him. And especially for the film Out of the Blue, which I sort of reacted to already on the channel. But I do want to go back one day and go through all of the special features of that film and then this one, in order to kind of get a much better picture of who Dennis Hopper is. And this is The Last Movie by Dennis Hopper. The film is called The Last Movie. A film by Dennis Hopper. I haven't seen this movie at all, but I have heard so much about it that I know I'm going to love it. This movie basically got him exiled from Hollywood because it was such a big flop. And it's really interesting to me, looking at Dennis Hopper's career, going from Easy Rider to The Last Movie here, and then the next film, which is Out of the Blue, which is why I've been kind of holding off on doing a deep dive into Out of the Blue ever since I reviewed that film, because I want to get context. And Josh was very helpful in letting me know that I needed to go through this release first before going through Out of the Blue, because there's a lot of Out of the Blue special features that focus on the between The Last Movie to Out of the Blue. And I definitely need the context of The Last Movie, because I'm very linear in terms of my learning. And if I'm jumping all over a filmmaker's filmography and not really learning about it, then I don't really learn anything, and I don't feel as if I've used my time wisely. So I can't wait to finally get into this. This is going to be so much fun. And I have 2 other Dennis Hopper movies out there, which I may do a double feature tonight for the marathon. But for now, I'm so happy to finally have this. The last movie by Dennis Hopper. Next, we'll go to the limited editions of the Blu-ray films that I've gotten. This next one is one that was directed by Alan Clark, who I've mentioned. And I may have already spoiled which one this is, but this is count 716 out of 8,000 copies that they made. So still a lot of limited release copies. So without further ado, this is Scum. I know nothing about this. I got this out of word of mouth. I've heard it's absolutely insane. That's all I know. So cool. Scum. Again, I'm not going to read the backs of these because I want to go in blind. I want to be surprised. I want to be surprised. I mean, it really comes down to that. And this next movie I got because it was going out of print. I heard it was very violent, very fucked up, and it has Peter Cushing, which I think is a very good stamp of quality, in my opinion. This is 2,050 out of 5,000, so it's about halfway sold out. But I think it did sell out during the sale. But this is Corruption. Very great cover, still. Someone screaming. This is another heavy special feature release. And I just want to say I love the box for this film. I love the box for this film and all the ones that are right above me here. They're the exact same box, and I think Arrow also does that type of box. But it is so sturdy. It's very greatly packaged. You have the poster, you have the booklet, and then the movie, which goes up and down. But I can't wait to finally see this. So yeah. Directed by Robert Hartford Davis. I've heard that name somewhere. Corruption. Cannot wait to finally watch these films. Then I have the 2 box sets, which I'm going to line up here. Okay, good. So these are actually in order. I got the Hammer Horror box sets 5 and 6. Death and Deceit and Night Shadows. Which I have a theory that Night Shadows is a lot more black and white focused. Because it's all about shadows and spookiness and horror movies. And then we have Hammer Volume 5, which has Christopher Lee on the front. And we also have the amazing Oliver Reed as part of these films. I did kind of go through and read the back on this one. And 2 of these films have Oliver Reed. And I think just one of them has Christopher Lee. So there's a whole lot of special features on this release. It's going to take me a while to get through these, but these are so thick. These are the first Hammer Horror box sets that I've gotten too, so I wish I would have gotten the earlier ones, but we'll see how these movies are before I continue buying these box sets. But that is really it for today. Really great kind of selection, a great variety and diversity of films. So I'm really excited to kind of go through these releases before going into the Severin and the new Vinegar Syndrome releases that are coming out, which I still haven't done October's releases. I will try to get that done this weekend. Today's Friday for those watching in the future. But that is all for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the Thanksgiving weekend.